Today, we will hear from the White House about the growing emergency unfolding at the southern border.
Email from DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, he referred to it as, quote, a surge, and that the numbers were, quote, overwhelming.
I'm Kathy Lembo, CEO of SBCS, formerly South Bay Community Services, and my role at the Convention Center was to bring together the partners to provide the 24-hour care and supervision of the children's education, the children's mealtime activities, their recreational activities, their cultural activities, man the phone room for them to make their calls to their country of origin, and also to do the case management services, which case management in this case really was about vetting the family members and or good friends of family members' homes they were going to in the United States.
I remember the first day I helped the girls who were arriving. You know, they were first at the meeting point, the COVID test, and after that, I took them to pick clothes in a backpack. It was overwhelming just to see the joy that they had once I was giving them the clothes. They were like overly excited. I mean, they have been wearing the same clothes like for a month. Some of them told me 1 month, 2 months. And the first thing they wanted is a shower. So I remember taking them to the showers and they just couldn't believe it. They were so excited because they were shampoo and conditioner. So after that, another day we started with the phone calls. So just like Karen said, it was overwhelming.
It was heartbreaking to see the amount of worry and anxiety.
Full cross-section of problems in Latin America, from economic ruin and political instability to climate change and COVID, from Cuba to...
People have asked me before, you know, what did you think it was going to be like? I really didn't have time. None of us had time to think of what it was going to be like. 4 days is not a lot of time to think about how do we take care of 500 children Saturday night when they arrive here in San Diego, many who we knew had been traumatized on their journey and traumatized while they were in Border Patrol custody. So when I think about what I thought it was going to be like, the thing that kept me really moving forward was just the support we were getting from so many partners who said yes to it right away, that they'd be there with us on Saturday night, from the County of San Diego, and also from the Convention Center themselves. Just so many people just putting so much stuff together. And also the elected officials. I mean, the elected officials really did so much for the Convention Center outside the preview of press and photo ops. Chairman Nathan Fletcher arranged for the kids to go to surf camp. Mayor Todd Gloria sent staff in to help us.
Yes, we can. These are children. And we have the ability as a region. We have a building that will be vacant until July. We have a willing federal partner that wants to help us provide compassion and empathy and support to these children.
So the first day was actually 2 days in one, because they came in Saturday night about midnight and it went into Sunday. So the thing I remember the most about Sunday morning, the children came through the loading dock at the back of the Convention Center on the harbor side, and they came into the Convention Center. They had been in buses, so it was really dark, so they never saw San Diego. I don't even know if they knew where they were. And they went to sleep right after they got there because they were tired, they were worn out. And there was one little girl who had to go to the restroom, and we had to have 24-hour sight of these children. So I looked around to get someone to take her to the restroom, and there was nowhere around. And I said, look, I'll take you. And we walked out into the main hall of the Convention Center, where you can see, and it was maybe 6, 7 in the morning, where you could see the skyline of San Diego. And it just took her breath away. And she looked at me, I looked at her. I told her it was San Diego. And then I told her, welcome, and I told it to her in Spanish, and she learned the word welcome in English, and that was her first sight of San Diego and really her first conversation in San Diego.
We started with, I believe, like 4 stations where they could take calls. So the first phone calls were so touching because the parents, once they called them, the parents didn't even know if their daughters were alive. So they will be like crying. I mean, it was amazing. And we had to, be strong for them because we have to, even though we felt this emotion, we have to be strong for them because every girl cried that day, every girl.
Seeing their face like lit up, their eyes getting all watery when they heard like their mom or their parent answer, their grandma answer. It was like they would like look back up at me and like, wow, like my family knows I'm alive, like I'm here. And obviously the family members, when they would like, be so grateful of like, because once the girls started talking, letting the family know of like the services that they were receiving, how they were being fed, how they were in good conditions and everything. Like obviously the family members were grateful for us. So they would start praying with us. It's like, oh, I want to thank you so much. Can we do a prayer?
I also remember that the children slept late because they had gone to bed late, and there was a priest who had volunteered to come do a service that Sunday, but the children were all sleeping. So he asked if he could go from dorm to dorm, if we would take him dorm to dorm to bless the children and to bless the dorm. So myself and Maddie Kilkenny from Intessa walked the priest. So you had these cots in the convention center, and they were in dorms of 50 children to a dorm, and he blessed each dorm. He walked from dorm to dorm and blessed the children. And you could hear a pin drop. The interesting thing is some of the children, I guess they weren't sleeping so sound, and they saw him, and I saw some girls get on their knees next to their cots and start to pray.
Some of the girls' the journey were not that easy. Some of them had to be walking for many, not days, weeks. They had to be walking. The ones that were able to raise some money, they will be traveling with what they call a coyote. So they will bring them to the border, and there they would just leave them alone. And these girls were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and they were by themselves. So the parents were very scared of not knowing what happened to them during that journey. And they will say on the phone, you know what, I will never let you do that to go on your own, but we don't have money. And if you stay here, you're gonna die.
How do you find the courage or just keep strong and telling these kids it's gonna be okay?
Everybody was trying to do its best for the kids. We all had our own views on it. And for me, I think it was my favorite experience because I've never been a part of something so big.
I've never been in a space where there are partners, agencies, other individuals who share that same desire to want to do more and to be better. And be better every single day. And, our team always said this, Monty and Ebony, they coined this term, we're building this plane as we're kind of basically flying it. And it felt like that, but it felt like every single day, the pieces were coming together, the people were coming together, and it just made it even like more homey and more like, this is our initiative. This is us as a collective in San Diego doing something that hasn't been seen in these spaces prior.
No matter how good of a day it was, no matter how bad of a day it was, like they were there as themselves and they felt comfortable enough to act like they were at home. And that felt so good.
And she said it wasn't up until the convention center where Michelle and other staff looked at her and she felt loved because she was being seen, not for the clothes she had, not for how she looked, her hair. It was for her personality, her love, the way that she talked, the way that she spoke. And she said, I will never take this experience back because I was taught now how to value my self-worth in this process.
Some of those girls from that Z-Pod, I think about them every day. When I go to Walmart and I see little groups of teenagers or something, I'm thinking like, I wonder if this is what those girls are doing. I wonder if they're like shopping for lip glosses in the beauty department, or if they're trying to wear like Crocs with tons of charms on them.